What's up, guys? It's NextNator41 here. And you ever watch those internet documentaries that talk about some random YouTuber who was popular a good few years ago, and then the narrator says they had a few 100,000 subscribers, which is nothing now, but was considered insane for the time? Well, that's because of a concept that I like to call subscriber inflation. Don't look that up on Google. To understand how this works, subscribers can kind of be thought of in a similar way to currency out in the real world. And yes, I know you guys are almost all real people with a few bots thrown in there, and I really do mean it when I say I value each and every one of you subscribed to me, but like it or not, if you're to take this website seriously, YouTube is a numbers game. And from a creator analysis standpoint, subscriber count is data and statistics that can be trended over time, just like views, likes, and comments. As much as us channels will go around saying, yeah, subscriber counts don't matter, let's be real. They definitely do. We all secretly value them, especially if they're big. YouTube also values them, given how managing to earn 1,000 of those suckers lets you make money. The most popular channels, most of which are corporations, have hundreds of millions of subscribers, but that wasn't always the case. On a site where people are corporate, corporations are personal, and everyone can interact with everyone, for good and for bad, subscribing is a key form of communication between the creator and the viewer, and the number is every YouTuber's dick measuring tool. Sure, features can get added and removed, and the motivation of uploading can change from fun to fame to money, but the core concept has remained the same since YouTube's inception in 2005, which is about broadcasting yourself. In order to best explain subscriber inflation, let's explore the subscribe button itself. It seems pretty important given that creators tell you to subscribe so much that it's become a meme that stood the test of time. On YouTube, there's no cost. You subscribe because you like their videos and want to see more. Although sometimes with concepts like sub for sub, it feels like subscribing is more of a business networking type thing instead, especially in today's world where people seem to think pressing the button means you support everything about them, including any controversial views they might have. Hell, the concept subscribing to someone's beliefs has been a phrase that's gained traction in the political and religious sphere, and with the seemingly new internet political commentator gaining stardom and getting banned every week, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why controversies can lead to a massive drop in subscriber counts. You sub, the number goes up. You unsub, the number goes down. It's pretty simple. There's a certain culture that's been built and expected around YouTubers with similar subscriber counts, as ones with low numbers are relatively obscure and unknown to the public eye, while those with high counts have achieved clout, influence, fame, and money, well, most of the time. And you can actually tell a lot about YouTube channels based on their subscriber counts, even if they're in completely different niches, as there kind of seems to be like unspoken rules that channels follow. And this culture has also predictably changed over time. I'm not the best YouTuber to talk about this since I'm a rather small speck in the grand scheme of things, but hey, guess what? I bet a bunch of you have almost as many subscribers as Smosh did way back at the end of 2005. And at this time, they were the most subscribed creators on the platform. Yeah. Gee, I wonder why you don't care. It's because it's not that impressive a feat anymore. Practically 1/10 out of all YouTube channels on the platform have over 1,000 subscribers, and there are so many micro celebrities out there now that a noticeable chunk of people who watch your videos will probably be other people trying to make it big here with their own content. YouTube.com as a whole has grown exponentially in the past 20 years. I mean, just look at how subscriber counts have, well, inflated. Back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, having a few 100,000 subscribers was considered a big deal. Now, there are so many channels with over 100,000, and I can guarantee that you have probably only heard of a small fraction of them. Mr. Beast, during his 2020 YouTube Rewind, had the scroll so fast just to list all the YouTube channels that hit the silver play button milestone in that year alone. And that video is considered old at this point. Hearing, oh, this YouTuber was huge, he had 35,000 subscribers in 2008, just doesn't mean anything without context. So that brings us to the concept of subscriber inflation. I borrowed the time value of money concept from financial math in order to illustrate this, so bear with me, I'll try to keep it simple. Let's say there's an annual subscriber inflation rate, basically the average rate at which any given channel grows per year. Call it something simple, like 5% a year. In financial math, this is the interest rate, and it's used to compare how much money you invest now will be worth later down the line. It's so you can compare apples to apples properly. My niche is Mario Connects. Sure, I've surpassed some channels that had a few hundred subscribers back in the early 2010s, but my number of a few hundred in the early 2020s is much less impressive than having a few hundred subs 10 years prior. Even though they stopped uploading and their numbers got stuck, there is a way to tell how much their numbers from back when they did upload are worth today. But yeah, using our 5%, let's say someone joined in 2008, uploaded from 2008 to 2011, quit in 2011, and their sub count remained stagnant. This theoretical channel would surpass 1,000 by the end of the 2020s decade had he decided to stick to his niche and didn't switch up his content, assuming all our clearly wrong and oversimplified assumptions were right. Social Blade's future projections seem to follow an exponential growth pattern like this. But that's not what happened. Based on what happens to inactive channels, he would have probably capped at around 480 to 490 subscribers in mid-2012 and started decreasing instead, probably settling at around 450. And look at that, it's our second example, a YouTuber who joined in 2017 and was active from 2017 to 2020. A much lower sub count in that same time frame, but what actually happened was that he peaked in 2021 at around 450 and probably now has more subscribers than Channel A because he fell off more recently. Except if you discount the subscriber numbers back in time and compare apples to apples, you'll see that 390 subscribers in 2020 was worth much less in the early 2010s. So Channel A had more influence relative to the platform at the time. Now, sure, it seems kinda dumb to compare channels with a few hundred subs, but let's scale this larger. Let's talk channels with real clout. Let's ascend into the Mile High Club. But the tier chart didn't always have these numbers. A few years ago, it looked like this, and this, and this. The growth of the internet along with the growth of YouTube has enabled more people than ever before to click on, watch, like, and subscribe to your videos. This has led to the current YouTube era unleashing a potential fame, fans, and money to a level unmatched at any other point in internet history. However, there exists a yang to this yin, with that being the fact that it's easier than ever before to become a creator yourself. Now, I was careful there. I didn't say it was easier than ever to become a creator at the top tier. It's just easier than ever to start. The YouTube metagame is about perceived quality and algorithm manipulation. There has always been a line between the influencer haves and the influencer have-nots, but that line has become blurred and grown. If anything, we've come full circle from YouTube's infancy, where emerging creators are just ordinary people who want to share something they're passionate about. Being a content creator back then was considered to be just a hobby. There was rarely any money in it. And while it defined your internet presence, it didn't define you. Nowadays, content creator is its own identity. There's blueprints and expectations that come with the label that you choose to join. This has affected the content that people produce. Just about every aspect of videos has evolved to an unrecognizable degree, whether it be due to YouTube features getting added or removed, the trends changing, or technology improving the equipment used to make videos. Since the late 2010s, the average affordable phone can record and stream HD video quality to whatever social media app you feel like. Some game consoles let you directly upload clips of intense sessions with the boys. There is more money in content creation than ever before, which means that it's a better time than ever to invest time and effort into the craft. And we have seen this with random tiny channels, new and old, dedicating months to a single piece of work and the algorithm miraculously connecting it to everyone who'd be interested in watching it, causing their sub count to double practically overnight. I should know, because this has already happened to me twice. While this phenomenon is nothing new, it feels like everyone is getting their big break online these days. Part of this could be due to survivorship bias, as in you'll remember all the times you saw people go viral before your very eyes, but not take into consideration the people you never encountered, the little obscure guys who never got lucky enough to take off the same way. But even taking this into account, you gotta admit there's a lot of new fat kids on the block. People have become hyper-fixated into their niches and built little communities out of them, and it's difficult to just waltz in without immersing yourself and lurking first. These communities and YouTube niches have always existed, as the features to categorize a video have been around since at least 2007, and maybe they were always somewhat isolated to each other, but the exponential growth of pretty much every category has made this isolation much more pronounced. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, old creators at the top like Smosh, Ray William Johnson, and PewDiePie, the names you've heard a billion times by now, were known all over the place. You couldn't escape them. They were the top dogs of the YouTube community and were famous to the point of transcending categories. Of course, 10 times as many similar sized channels exist today, so there's a good chance I could put a few up on screen and you'll see a person you don't recognize, or maybe you'll see one you completely forgot about. The only real YouTuber I can think of that currently maintains the same level of influence on the entire platform as the old big creators is Mr. Beast, and he has more views than the world's population 7 times over. Everyone's carved out their own plot of land of videos and streams to cultivate. And just like Manifest Destiny and the American Dream, we're not exactly in the age of looking for new websites to colonize. Back in the day, if a channel got terminated, you could just make a new one in a completely new Google account, go to a different website, and there would always be another one to take its place. All YouTube could do was fail at playing whack-a-mole. The same thing applied to old internet forums, Discord, Reddit, and the like. Then came monetization, which made accounts valuable. Suddenly, security got beefed up, and you need to jump through hoops of verification processes and face IDs just to make a single account. So now you're kind of stuck. You've become the brand. And if you're gonna do some trolling, you better hope you've hired some sophisticated PR damage control, otherwise that stupid out-of-pocket thing you said when you were 15 will get engraved into a footnote at the bottom of your wiki page. That could explain why channels are getting bigger now, as edgier creators who may have flown too close to the sun in the olden days cleaned up their act and became more advertiser-friendly, resulting in higher sub counts. Also, older creators who have been making videos for around a decade have grown up. At least based on the currently active channels that will get recommended to you, it seems like the edgy teenagers who got off 10 years ago on content cops and dank memes, telling people to kill themselves and owning liberal compilations have since graduated high school, working full-time jobs, and may even be married with kids of their own. Now, I don't know about you, but if my future children ever discovered my channel, I'd want them to know that I'm a good role model and have been trying my absolute best throughout all this time. The concept of a subscriber has mostly remained the same over time. Everyone wants them while saying they don't care about them. YouTube wants you to have more of them. The viewers want to subscribe to people they enjoy watching and care about, and most of us are probably going to have a lot more of them in the future. All of the major milestones have already been passed thousands of times by thousands of people, and yet no matter how much subscriber inflation oversaturates the platform within the next few years, to me, there will always be something special about walking by a channel garden every day and seeing some average jack with nothing more than a camera, a computer, dedication, and passion watering their flowers, cutting their weeds, and fertilizing their soil with the hopes of growing their beanstalk into the clouds. I don't know what else to say, so I guess that's it, guys. I'll see you around.